Yeah, I know what type of time I'm on when I step in the scene, man. Had them bottles ready, had them sparkles ready. It's gonna be a good night. Last time around, it was different. Somebody tell them pay attention, nigga.
Go. You. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Shit Podcast. Your boy John, my co-host Bree, and let's get into it. So this week's episode, we're gonna start off with Tiffany Haddish. For those who don't know, she's been in the news lately for some negative things, some accusations that eventually were dropped. But Tiffany Haddish, obviously when she was accused, she spoke and said she's like innocent, and then after the charges dropped, she's also come out and said she's lost a bunch of gigs due to these allegations. Um, I guess because charges dropped, we live in a time where it's like if you get accused of something and that you may be innocent of, depending on what you're accused of, it's definitely going to set you back. Even if you're 100% innocent, it's going to set you back. It's just a matter of what you're accused of. So you might lose some opportunities, some jobs, depending on what you do. Like some people's going to step away from you because they might not take the risk of, just in case, like, what they get accused again. So, like, now you're accused again, and I was still, messing with you or, like, still, like, supporting you now. It's not like I am co-signing the stuff that you're accused of. So that's what usually happens to people. Obviously, not everyone's innocent. A lot of people that's accused things are doing what they're doing, but then there's people that are accused things and not, So you think it's fair or foul that what she's going through at the moment with her losing all her gigs?
I don't think it's I don't think it's fair until you're proven guilty. The only thing is because that was such a big accusation and it was involving children. Um, yeah, I expected people not to want to mess with her. Um, let's go back. I did say though that this was gonna be dropped because this lady already had so many a rap sheet of suing
Right?
people and doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it makes me feel bad for her because she hasn't really been doing movies as much as she once was. So I did feel bad for her, but also this is what happens when you take on these type of movies and shows. There's repercussions for it. You have to read the script and you have to know what you're getting yourself into before you take just anything. You get what I'm saying? Like in your mind, you have to know this is gonna come back and bite me in my ass.
No,
So
but quick then. Some people don't have, I would say, like, some people don't really have the juice to turn down roles. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, someone that's a little higher rank could say no to a role and it won't affect them versus other people who say no might not get another call or something for like a whole, like, a
again,
few
this
months.
wasn't a call. This wasn't a call job. If you hear Aries talk about it, it was a favor he asked of Tiffany Haddish, which was they knew each other, I guess, before she became Tiffany Haddish. So again, I get it. It's a favor, but sometimes you gotta just say no. Sometimes you just gotta say no.
There's
I
nothing
mean,
wrong with saying no, it's true.
yeah,
Like,
if
no.
it's to right, if it's to protect your craft and your business, I 100% agree with saying no. So she got to take some responsibility for taking that role and taking that chance, and now she's discredited. And unfortunately,
It's,
I don't know if it's gonna be if she's gonna be able to do a comeback. Is it fair, Johnny? No, I'm not gonna say it's fair, but I just don't know if she's gonna be able to do a comeback with
you
this.
basically say it's not fair, but it's not also foul because like she got to take accountability on the part of like you
Right.
did it. So it's like it's gonna look weird to everybody else. Like, whoa, what is this that you're doing?
Right.
That's true though. That's definitely true. She's gonna lose some gigs for now, but again, it's gonna. I think it's gonna take some time before someone gives her a role again. But whoever gives her a role again is obviously gonna be a little, I'm trying to say, a little hesitant. It's gonna. I'm pretty sure this accusation is gonna stick on her though as she moves on to a future gig. Even though it has been dropped, I feel like other possible employees will, talk about it and be like, is it coming back up?
She took the part, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a big production. This was Aries just trying to make jokes and stuff. And with that being said, you took the part. So yeah,
it's just
you gotta take that responsibility.
Yeah, it's one of those. You made your bed, now lay in it, and hopefully, she bounces back. Because, especially if she's innocent, and at this point, the innocent until proven guilty, the charges are dropped. So for the most part, we don't have any evidence to say she's guilty. So you're not guilty, you're innocent. And it's just unfortunate, but I think she bounces back. It's just gonna take a little some time. It's just, it's gonna take some time before she clears her name or whatever she has to do to get back to what she does. But I think it's just gonna be a little time. It's still relatively new and fresh, and again, like you said, this accusations dealing with a child, so it's definitely gonna be looked on very, 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 differently because it's a child involved. But we'll see. We'll definitely see how that plays out. But now we're gonna move on. Let's want to talk Apple. Apple looks like I guess there was that like viral thing, but that people was talking about other people doing it, but it's like the women wearing their bonnets as they was going. You know what I'm saying? But it became a topic of discussion because everyone, like a lot of women, was wearing their bonnets while they was traveling through the airport, and some people, it was from what I seen on social media, it was like a mixed feeling about it. Some people was like, the fuck, like let me wear what I want to wear. And some people felt like, you shouldn't be wearing that shit, like, oh, you shouldn't be coming out your house wearing that. So that's where the mix breakdown between the two parties was. But
a lot of white people wear a lot of shit they should not be wearing outside their house, but they do it, and we don't say shit for it.
Which is true. Maybe that also plays a role because there's a whole bunch of black women wearing it outside, in the airport. Maybe that was a underlying layer in the conversation. But Apple.
Fun fact: when we was going to DR for my wedding, I wore a fucking bonnet to the airport.
You got your hair done. You want to make sure your hair is all good.
It wasn't even my hair was done, Johnny. I was having a stress. Sometimes you stress and you're trying to get to wherever you need to get to, Johnny, and you just need to throw on the bonnet and go. And so forget that. I was planning a whole wedding. I was in a different country. Okay. I was making sure everybody got their flights. Okay. And was getting on their flights at the right time. Okay. So I had to make sure so much shit about it just felt right to wear to the airport. Fuck it. You can't tell me I can't wear a bonnet. Okay. And they didn't. The TSA didn't even ask me to take off the bonnet. Usually they'll ask take off the bonnet.
Which is interesting, but that's interesting. But so to get to it, Apple now has the Bonnet Memojis, I think it's called Memojis. So it's like now they got the avatar emojis.
But it's not on there yet.
Huh?
It's not on there yet.
But they announced, I don't know if the release date, but they announced that's gonna be a emoji that should be coming out.
Yeah, because it's not on there yet.
I was gonna say, maybe you gotta update your phone. Where Apple is a whole bunch of updates.
I updated it. I outdid it just for that because I wanted to use the bonnet one in our conversations. And she's not there yet. That's so sad. But when she's there, guys, everything's gonna be that little bonnet emoji. Cause she's dope. She's not there.
So you think it's a dope idea that Apple did it, or are they taking advantage of a popular discussion that you've seen that they witnessed as social media?
I like the references that Black women are starting to get now, because there was a time in life where I didn't see no Black little girls on TV being Little Mermaid. I didn't see Black women empowering other Black women. So being able to see an emoji that could represent us, I don't think it's taking advantage. I think it's actually really nice um of Apple, because it's like, let us have some reference too. Like, we spend money on iPhones just like the white people do. So why can't we be able to, have something that represents us as Black women on these Apple devices? You get what I'm saying? So yes, I personally like it. I think it's a smart idea to have Black people have references on these Apple websites or Apple devices or Apple, I like it. I personally like it. I think it's dope. I think it's a somewhat of a peak of what we should be getting as, Black women.
Well, I understand that point.
And you can make a Black guy with a do rag. Just saying.
I would think if they didn't have that yet, that would probably be the next thing. But what I was gonna say, also with that, I'm pretty sure this is still gonna draw. This is gonna be another topic that would draw mixed reviews. Obviously, you said how you felt about it. I'm pretty sure there's other people that's gonna feel a different way, and probably gonna feel like, you know, what's the word, cultural appropriation. Some probably people gonna go that way, or feel like, some stuff along the lines on that. But for the time being, I haven't seen anything that said there's mixed reviews. But even when people was, I'm pretty sure people was doing it, but when it was a topic of discussion and people were doing it in the middle of the topic of discussion, it was split. Right. Well, I guess time will tell. But I was just looking at it. It's supposed to be with one of the new update. So I guess you gotta, update your phone and get to your Memoji. It should be alright. Now we're going to transition. A woman sentenced after setting up a fake kidnapping. So her name is Sherry Papini. She's been sentenced to 1.5 years in prison for claiming she had been kidnapped and tortured, and it turned out to be a lie. So it took place November 2016 in California. She says she was kidnapped by 2 Hispanic women, and then in the midst of this, I guess, she was awarded $30,000 in compensation due to the allegations. Yeah, so then I guess a couple years later, they said she was chilling in her ex partner, because she was married and had 2 kids. So they found out that she was chilling with one of her exes for 2 weeks, and that was 2 weeks that she said she got kidnapped. And then the ex came forward and said, yeah, she didn't get kidnapped. She was with me for the 2 weeks. She said she came to the house and complained about an abusive relationship, and that she injured herself, that she could later report the torture. What? Jesus Christ, what's wrong with people? All that for $30,000?
I have so many questions.
Like,
You know what this remind me of? The Gone Girl movie with Ben Affleck.
mhm.
You remember that movie? That
Yeah, I
movie was
remember.
crazy. But listen, I just people like that I think deserve to do jail time. I think because so much of the community invests in finding them or looking for them or just like being there for the family when we could have been really worried about people who's really missing. So I feel like people like that should do jail time. And I'm not talking about like a few months. I'm talking about years. Because you wasted people's energy, money, time. Like you deserve to do jail time. You deserve, and I don't mean, and I'm telling you, Johnny, I don't mean like 4 to 5 months. I'm talking about they deserve to do like 2 to 3 years. No? Because
Yeah.
I just feel like you have the fucking nerve to waste our motherfucking time, energy, and resources for your dumb ass because you just wanted to play games. You fucking deserve you fucking deserve to fucking sit in jail for a while. Think about what you did. Think about your actions. You fucking bitch. Think about your actions. There's people who's really missing out there, Johnny. There's real women who are really missing,
That's
who
true.
probably are in truck in trafficking and women trafficking, or they really gotten kidnapped and someone's holding them hostage, and your dumbass decided to make a joke out of it. You deserve to do a few years, not a few months, a few years in jail.
Well, I said she got, I don't know, for fake accusation, no, fake accusation, is it, for, filing a fake crime or report, that's a file, reporting a fake crime. I don't know what's the true penalties of that, but obviously she only got a year and a half for this. But it's just unfortunate. So it's like,
It's more than unfortunate, Johnny. It's really like psychotic, narcissist. It's a bunch of stuff that you need to figure out in your fucking life. But it's just not okay to me that you get to do community service or pay back the victim or pay back the 30,000 and then get to run free. I think you should do a few years in jail.
because at this point, it's like, damn, because the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend or ex-partner, it just says ex-partner. I don't know if his ex-boyfriend could be a woman, girlfriend, I don't know. But it says ex-partner. But no, this said he admitted to it. So ex-boyfriend or whatever they were to each other said that she came in there complaining that her husband was abusive. And even if that was the case, that's still not the best route to go about what she went about. And then she's married and they got kids. So it's like it's a whole, you know what I'm trying to say, it's all, that's the whole situation is fucked up. But yeah, I agree with you. She definitely deserves to, I think she deserves a harsh penalty because she put her kids through some bullshit that they didn't need to be put through. Obviously, she put her husband through some shit that he probably had to deal through. She put their families through some shit that they didn't really have to go through. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I can only imagine what those 2 weeks were like for the husband, the kids, her family, his family, like all that, and like mixed in. Because I don't know how close she was to her husband's family, but obviously the husband's family is gonna be affected because the husband's gonna be affected. Stuff
Right.
like that. So all of that, and then she affected her whole family. And now I'm pretty sure when she said all that, all these people were in support of her, supporting her, like, making sure she was good. And it's like, now this comes out, it's like, damn. It's like, I wouldn't want to be associated. Yeah, I'm not gonna, I wouldn't even want to be associated with the person. Like really? Like,
Me and her gonna have to fight. Cause all this time I fucking sitting here like crying for your man, we fighting.
Well, you're just gonna have to wait till they come when she come back home. So you gotta do that 1.5 years.
She need to do more than 1.5 years. She need to do more than that shit. But I'll wait for your ass to come home to fight you on sight. Like, bitch, really? I cried for you. I mourned for your ass, stupid ass. Like,
Because truthfully, 2 weeks missing for 2 weeks. After a couple of days, I'm pretty sure like nobody wanted to believe it, but I'm pretty sure it was going through. Some people said like she might be dead.
I watch enough of these Facebook podcasts. After a few days, you know it's over. You be like, oh shit.
But it'd be certain families that be like, nah, I have belief. We're gonna find. I'm trying to say. But
no, I get that. But me personally, after watching these like podcasts, they after a couple of days, it always seems that they dead. So at this point,
yeah, but it's stats that go behind it too. Like statistically, there's like stats that back it up. Usually, after like 1 or 2 days, the chances of finding this person and finding the person alive drop like a whole like it's probably somewhere under 10%. I don't have the real numbers present to me, but it's definitely low rating. I said low rating. It's definitely low numbers because it's two things now. It's like if we'll ever find the person, that's one, and finding the person, them being alive, that's two.
Right. People think that it be like Taken, like the movie Taken. That should be fake. That shit ain't nobody finding you. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. And then like again, all the cops and shit that helped try to find this woman, they don't get the fuck out of my face with that. They gave her 1.5 years. They should have gave her 5 years.
But yeah, again, I guess they would have to, change law. Well, I'm saying not change laws, but make it more harsher to report a fake crime.
Right.
Which in certain cases, I think it should be that way. Like there's certain crimes that you report and it turned out to be like fake, or you set it up to be fake, or you try to plant the crime on someone that didn't commit the crime. Stuff like that, I feel like should have harsher penalties with that. This one seems like it should have came with some. This one seems like it should have came with some harsher penalty. But
right.
Again, she's an idiot. I wish the best for her families, her family and her husband's family and them kids. Because when she come home in a 1.5 years, this is a never-ending saga of stuff they're gonna have to deal with. It's
right.
Very unfortunate for the parties involved. Her, she deserves what she deserves. She definitely put her family, what she put her family into.
You know, Devin wouldn't be waiting for me when I get out of jail for that dumbass shit. He would have been left. Devin would be like, "Oh, you stupid!" I
can only imagine like Dev tell us, and then like 2 weeks later, we all like, "Oh shit, damn, what the fuck? Some fucked up shit that happened." And then you come back, and like a couple years later, Dev write us like, "Yo, can you believe this shit? This shit was fake." Like she's lied about the whole shit. We're gonna be like, God damn, no way. You know what I'm trying to say? It's gonna be like, she's an idiot though. Like she like it's nothing positive to say about her, but hopefully while she's inside she get the help she needs, because she might have a school too. She have to help, Everyone does deserve a second chance. Nobody was physically harmed. A lot of people are gonna be mentally harmed behind that. Maybe she can put it back for the sake of her children. She could get into a better place for the sake of her children. But yeah, she's an idiot. She done messed up the whole, it's horrible. It's dumb. But again, I wish her family's the best. I wish her family's the best and best for those children.
Jesus help me. That just makes me mad.
Crazy world we live in. But now we're gonna transition to music. We're gonna go into Future. We're gonna talk about Future. Future has sold his publishing catalog. It's the amount hasn't been disclosed, but I've seen certain numbers. I think it's an estimate of like 60 million or somewhere in the 60s.
It was like 5,000.
You said what?
Huh?
No, you said something. I was just saying. You said what?
Oh! I said it was like 5,000.
Oh no, I don't know. But it's estimated to be like.
I'm not a big fan of Future.
Listen, it's subjective. You know, some people are a fan of. You're a fan of who you're a fan of.
Right, I'm just not a fan of Future.
No, trying to say no with that. You're not a fan. You're not a fan. No, trying to say.
I don't think his music is worth 60 million.
He's put a lot of music out, and you
put out a lot of trash.
Listen, because you're not a fan of it, a lot of people do listen to it.
Don't see his music really be played or being like popular.
Oh no! His music definitely does get played a lot. He had like a stretch. I'm trying to think of like he's still one of the more popular artists, but he had like a I would say like a stretch of years. Okay. No, it was like a stretch of years. It was like whatever he put out, that shit was getting played everywhere. Obviously, the music still gets played, but he had like his core few years stretch where it's like, damn, he kept putting shit out. It was getting played everywhere. I'm trying to like give you the years, but I can't give you the exact year. But that's usually how it goes. But you know, he's one of the more hot artists of today, of this current generation.
I personally wouldn't want to.
Listen, you're saying you're not a fan of his music, but I'm just informing you that he's like.
I'm not a fan of the music, and I'm not a fan of him. It goes. Sometimes I could be a fan of you and just not your music. Sometimes I could be a fan of your music and just not you. Then I could be a fan of you and your music, and we know there's a few of those.
I don't know, but I understand what you're saying. I understand the point you make, but what I'm telling you is, Future had when he he had like a run, and it was like.
I get that, Johnny, but I just don't see why he's selling his money so soon. Like, is his career over? Like, usually people do that once, like, they over rapping or they overdoing this. You get what I'm saying? Like, because then they're gonna make new music.
Yeah, but it says the catalog that he sold is from 2004 to 2020. So I don't know what's the deal with.
What I'm saying to you is no. What I'm saying to What I'm saying to you is, most of the time when artists do that, it's because now they're going to retire. So why not sell their music, get their money, and then just retire peacefully? It doesn't make sense why he's doing it in between his career. That's stupid. Personally, I'm saying it's stupid.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I guess it's a business deal, you know? Because again, it said the catalog it's not from 2004 till now, it's from 2004 to 2020. So I'm pretty sure whatever music comes out 2021, 2022, 2023, I don't know if that's a part of the deal. Right. And you know, the more music comes out, it's just gonna generate more money. So, but from what it says, it's from 2004 to 2020. So all those songs that came out in those years is what's in the included in the publishing deal. I see what you're saying though. It's like you feel like certain artists do that like a little towards the end, or it's like they're like on the back end of their career, they're not as active in the music game. Obviously, Future's still very active in the music game, but I just look at it as another thing, another business deal. And then a few years from now, we'll see how it comes about. You know, he might do another deal a couple of years from now, after he puts out a whole new catalog of records and whatnot. But I see what you're saying now. It's usually people on like the back end, or usually like towards the the very end. But I think he just made to him a smart business decision. That was the decision that he decided to go with. I'm pretty sure he had his people around him, and they talked about. I look at it as just a smart business decision because there's not really a. I would say there's not really. Maybe there is, and those who are more in the music industry would know. But I don't think there's really like a time stamp of like, yo, you should sell like your records at this point or that point. You know what I'm trying to say? I feel like you sell it when you want to make the right business deal. But again, it's a 16.
I personally just don't.
No, but 16 years.
I could see Jay-Z. I could see Jay-Z doing it. I could see Kanye. Well, Kanye's still active, but like I could see Jay doing it. I could see Nas doing shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? People who are not totally completely act. I could see like Snoop doing it. Like, these are people that I could see and them getting like $100 million. Like, I could see them doing it and getting money from it because their catalogs will, you know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but again, the part of the deal is a 16. It's from 16 years of music. You know what I'm trying to say? And hey, 16 years is a good. That's a good amount of years. That's it's almost 2 decades, almost.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you with this, John. I'm just saying that I personally would think it would be beneficial for somebody who's not active in music to do something like this. It would just make more sense to me. Like Jay, like Nas, like Snoop,
No,
like Drake.
yeah, I understand what you're saying. Basically, saying like someone who's still actively doing music and still going to be continuously be active on the music front is like you saying that you feel like it's a little too early because that person hasn't like turned off the switch of taking one foot out the door. Both feet are still in the door of music. He didn't take one foot out.
Right.
Or does it seem to be have taken one foot out of music? Both feet seems to still be in music and business that comes around music. You know what I'm trying to say? A
Right.
lot more of these rappers nowadays are doing business. But a lot of business comes from what they do musically, and then they try to take their name and get these endorsement deals and all types of business deals outside of music. But I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying. But this is for time to tell. I say it's a good business deal. I mean, a good business move.
Right.
Good business move. But talking about money, we're gonna keep the conversation on money. Denver said they're gonna give 140 homeless people $12,000.
When I saw that, I was like, that is dope as hell.
It's a program that's gonna give 140 homeless people $1,000 a month, $1,000 in cash a month for 1 year. And it's called the Basic Income Program, designed to help lift individuals out of homelessness. Which is dope, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I guess it's a program that could start, and I guess what they could do is like build upon it. So it's like, out of these 140 people and like recording them, like out of these 140 people, how many of them is not homeless after the program or within like a few
Right.
years? Give them a jump start. It'd be a cool program if I feel like the right commitment is to it. It's not like somebody just making like doing something for like political votes or like a stance on like, oh, look what I did. Or now there's the right commitment behind it is something that could really, really, really help. Obviously, the 12,000 is going to help in the short term for all these people, but if they really commit to this program, I think it could really change a lot.
I think $12,000 is gonna start, especially now that it's starting to get cold, and now that it's the holiday times. I think it's actually a real dope idea. Like, let's be honest, a lot of these homeless people during this time feel like they can't even get a warm food or a place. I think it's dope. I personally think it's dope.
So, but yeah, they'll be getting $1,000 a month. That's how it's gonna be broken down. $1,000 a month.
That's actually dope.
So what?
I think it's a dope idea.
Yeah, it's definitely a dope idea.
I think around this time of year, everybody should be doing that. To be honest, every state, because it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people, right now to be, to be having food and stuff like that. So I think it's important for us just to let them know that we care and that we love them, and it's just that simple. You know,
But I definitely
maybe
would.
not 12,000. That's a lot, but
I definitely agree with you. So it's something that could spark a change in a whole bunch of people's lives. They started with a core 140. Let's see what happens next year. They might want to change the number or see, like I said, let's see how the program goes. They announced it for the first year because I'm pretty sure they got way more than 140 homeless people.
right.
In
You're right.
Denver. So for those that missed out on it the first year, maybe they could be a part of it the second year. So I just want to see how this program continues to go after.
And the one thing I want, Johnny, is for them not to film these people. If we can just do this and do this like behind like let's not film these homeless people. I hate when I see people filming homeless people. Like they don't want to be on your Facebook. They don't want to be on your Instagram. Like but you get what I'm saying? They going through a moment. Let's not film when you're down. Like I just hope they don't film these people.
I understand what you're saying. It's just like I don't think they'll film these people or whatnot. But I understand what you're saying. It's like just let them. You help somebody out, just help them and keep it pushing. It doesn't have to be between you, the person you helped, and God.
Right.
Those people need to see what you did.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that person that you helped is gonna tell other people, yo, this person helped me. And that's how it spread. You don't really need to post it. Like I understand when people post it, but sometimes it does come off like a little ungenuine. It's like, are you really doing this to help, or are you really just doing this for the clicks and views, the likes and views, the likes and views?
I just hope they don't do it.
But we'll leave that discussion there. Now we're gonna move to the Big Apple, New York City. New York City says they plan on putting cameras in the subway cars. So they're about to put cameras in the subway cars. I don't know of the years of all the crimes in the subway, they never thought, oh fuck it, we're just gonna put a camera in the subway car. But finally someone's like, yo, a lot of bullshit happens down there in the subway. We're just gonna put cameras in subway cars. Will it prevent more crimes? Maybe, but will they catch more of the people that's committing the acts? Yes. No, they'll catch them more, yeah.
How?
Hmm?
How? Johnny, nobody's gonna commit a crime with their face bare. Like
that happens a lot.
Here I am. Here I am.
You'd be surprised. That happens a lot. It really happens a lot, especially if you're not planning the crime. It just happens. It does happen a lot. You'd be surprised. You like when you be seeing like when you look at the news, they be like, oh, we're looking for such and such, and they zoom in and it's dead ass the person's face on camera.
Johnny, what the fuck? Nobody is gonna just have, especially now where like masks are like nobody questions if you wear a mask or not. They're not gonna fucking question why you wearing a mask. again, if they know there's cameras on the subway, they now gonna be like, oh, okay, so we just gotta cover our face and do the fucking crime. Nobody's gonna say, I'm just gonna wear my bare face and do a crime. That's stupid. Dumb. Like, these cameras are not gonna stop crime. These cameras are not gonna stop anything. It's not gonna help. People are still gonna videotape with their phones while you're getting your ass beat or stabbed up. Like, nobody's gonna give a fuck, and the cops are not gonna get there sooner because they're recording. I personally think it's just a waste of time.
But I want to say that it's
It's a waste of time.
again, it's gonna be a mix. Cause like you said nobody's gonna be doing crimes with their face out or whatnot. But a majority of people probably I'm not gonna say majority. I think a good amount of people will think twice. It's like, I'm about to do this. Oh fuck, there's a camera right there.
No. People know there's cameras everywhere. People know that people are recording them. They still don't give a fuck. Listen, people on the train know other people are recording them with their phones and they don't give a fuck. What makes you think they're gonna give a fuck about a camera that the cops installed? They're not gonna give a fuck. They don't care. They do not care, Johnny. This is not gonna make a difference in the crime on the subways. The subways is the best place to commit crimes. It's because it's too many entrances, too many exits, too many people. It's the perfect place to commit a crime. Unfortunately, and as bad as it may seem, that's just the way it goes. I don't think cameras are gonna stop people from committing crimes. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Not on the train. Not on the train.
I don't think it's gonna completely stop, but it might. I'll say it might alter few crimes, but not the whole. As a whole, I don't think it'll be the main. I don't think that's gonna be the main. Oh, okay, like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's not gonna be the main thing.
Right.
I feel like a lot more stuff, and plus, like, just going on the train station, just going underground. So I don't know. It's gonna for them to really completely stop crime. I think it'll have to cost money. Yeah, I think what will have to happen is obviously NYPD put officers on there, but I think the MTA and NYPD will have to do like some type of collaboration where they create like a whole new field, and it's just straight transit. Like, I think they already got transit police, but I think they just need to expand. Expand it a little more, because obviously it's underground. There's so many stops, so many places. Anything can happen on this stop, that stop, that stop. They just need to expand it a little bit more. But again, they'll find a way eventually. And when they do, we just gotta see how it goes. That being said, we're going to transition to DJ Academic. So he ruffled a few feathers this past week, but the one that ruffled the most feathers was his comments about hip hop pioneers and him calling hip hop pioneers dusty. And that statement's got him. Yeah, a couple of people responded to him. LL Cool J responded to him. Fat Joe responded to him. I'm trying to think of all the names.
So let's read what LL Cool J responded to Academics. He said,
I seen the video, but yeah.
He said, let me explain something to you. Don't think just because somebody knows how to get money or fails to get money that they didn't make a contribution to the culture. No one discusses Miles Davis' bank account. We don't talk about John Cotone's bank account a lot, or even the rock musicians. A lot of great country artists, we don't talk about their bank accounts. He added, this idea that you have to have money or else you don't have any value is a bad idea. It is a misinformed way of looking at the world and the culture.
Mhm.
So today you could come up with a 5 year plan, your 10 year plan, 20-year plan. You could go find a manager, you could go find an accountant, and you find a team that helps your career go to the next level. He continued and he said, when hip hop first started, there was no managers, there were no accountants that believed in it. Record companies didn't even believe in it. Nobody believed in it. How can we have made a 5 to 10 year plan go on something that didn't even exist yet? So just because these pioneers didn't get rich, just because they weren't able to pile up millions or billions of dollars, does not mean that they did not make a contribution to the culture. They created an industry that we all ate off. They created an industry that you eat off.
Wait, what I'm trying to say, you responded because it's like obviously those
So
who.
here's my thing about academics, and I'm gonna really sum this up because academics really boils my fucking blood. Um let's be real. Academics has no influence on the culture. And for you to tell the people who made the culture that they fucking dusty, you must have the cojones of a bull. Because I just feel like, how can you sit there and say that these pioneers, because I'm gonna call them pioneers like LL Cool J did, who created something from nothing when they were arrested, beat it. A lot of times they weren't able to perform. A lot of times they weren't even able to get contracts. That they dusty because they created something so that other rappers now can flourish on. Let's be honest. For you to call them dusty, you must have some fucking brain issues. They dusty, my nigga, because of course they started from nothing. And like Ella Cool J said, they didn't have managers, they didn't have accountants. A lot of these rappers would tell you when they were signing deals, they didn't even understand it, but they did it because they had faith in it, something they were doing. A lot of these look at what happened to Dr. Dre. Look what happened to Ice Cube. They all signed these fucking contracts thinking like, okay, we just need a little bit of help just to make this shit go. And they got fucked at the end. I'm just all I'm saying I don't understand is how you sit there and call somebody dusty motherfucker when they the ones who've given you the opportunity to sit on the platform you fucking sit on and talk about them like they ain't shit.
What?
Like you ain't shit, nigga. Like that, and that's how I feel about it. And when I would heard him say it, because he later on called, he said he didn't, but he called Regina Carter a bitch. Like your whole podcast is full of shit.
Oh no, I seen that clip, but it's like he did say that, but he took it back as soon as he said it. Like he took it. You know what I'm trying to say? He was in the flow of conversation. He said it, and then he realized, oh, he was like, nah, let me not say that. And he took it back. Obviously, it still came out, and he put the clip out, so you're gonna hear him call her that. Yeah, but as soon as he said it, he did take it back.
Because what you say off your mind is what you meant to say, John. He meant to call that girl a bitch, but then realized the backlash he's gonna get for calling her a bitch was gonna be bigger than him just calling her a bitch. So that's why he retracted. Let's just be honest. Academics is very.
Which is possible. I'm just saying, but he did. I'm saying he didn't backtrack when the backlash came. He backtracked as soon. I'm saying he still backtracked as.
Yeah, because he knew
as he said it.
He knew he's gonna get back. Johnny, I just feel like academics is in no position to call anybody dusty. Like in no position to call these pioneers who made hip hop fucking dusty.
What I'll say is academics, obviously, not a lot of people are fans of him, trying to say, but he does have an influence on the younger generation, people go to, I guess he's one of the pages or one of like the people that people go to get their hip hop news and stuff like that. So he does have somewhat of an influence to the younger generation. He's someone that the younger generation goes to get their news and see what stuff that he discussed. But I guess he's just in a place where he feels like a lot of people that's in the older generation don't really rock with him as much. So he just feels like the way I look at it is he feels like, not saying it's right or wrong, but I feel like he feels like a whole bunch of the old generation don't really fuck with him. So it's like, if it's fuck me, it's fuck y'all too. And that's how he goes about it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I think that's probably where it stems from. I think he feels that he gets lack of support from the older generation and he gets more support from the younger generation. So, but the younger generation is more the crowd that he appeals to anyway. That's like his demographic, and that's the people that's most of his viewership and stuff like that. But I definitely disagree with his comments. Obviously, when the shit first started to where it is now, people wasn't making the same amount of money. Obviously, like in the beginning when shit starts, you know what I'm trying to say? People wasn't, making the same amount of money. Obviously, so that the industry will have to grow and it takes time to grow. So those that come after will reap the benefits more than the ones who started, like NBA players when they first started. When the NBA first started, wasn't really getting money. Now you look at it, everybody getting almost $100 million deals now in the NBA. But it took years of growth.
Do we not thank the people who came before?
No, we definitely, because everyone's
who took the lower pay, and who took the bullshit contracts and the bullshit, so that these motherfuckers now could be dripped in gold and have $1 million contracts.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's a part of it. They obviously, the ones who come first have to, even though the ones who come first, people now still dealing with bullshit. You know what I'm trying to say? That we won't hear about till years later when they're done and they telling their story. Bullshit still, like, you know what I'm trying to say? The bullshit still here. But it's just obviously when certain industries start, when hip hop first started, the money wasn't the same how the money is now when it first started. And it's just like just how it is in certain industries. What else? There's another industry trying to name industries that started and where people probably most likely making more money now than what they wrestling. I'm pretty sure when wrestling first started, whenever it started and became professional.
I think the problem here is, Johnny, is not that these other companies they didn't have a hard time starting. I think the problem here is within the Black culture, white people don't do that to country singers. They don't say the people who started this country singing industry are dusty because they live in little huts or they live here or live there. Rock stars who started the rock generation white people don't call them dusty, but it's a thing of Black people that if they're not living to this standard, or if they're not living like how we think they should be living, they lose the value of what they contribute to the community. And it's only with Black people that we do that bullshit with, and it's aggravating that this nigger, because he's ignorant to me, won't realize that we should not be putting down the pioneers and the people who started it and calling them dusty because they're not living to what you think they should be living to. I think their names and their value comes into contributing.
I agree with your statement. No, I'm trying to say is it's unfortunate, but it's just like the construct is like constructed that way. It's like because obviously rappers, even rappers always what I'm trying to say, they exaggerate they may be getting money, but they exaggerate what they actually get. You know, some of them exaggerate what they get. So it's like the people is all caught up and it's like whatever the rapper says or whatnot, they caught up. And then when they really see like the actual truth, it's like it shouldn't be like oh shit, what the fuck? It shouldn't be that way. You should know how the game goes, you know. But I don't know, for some reason you got the most money in the world, right? In this culture, right? You got the most money in this world, but you don't got the flyest car, you don't got the biggest house, the most beautiful woman, the flash, you know, all the chains, the jewelry. You don't have all that. For the most part, a majority of people probably think you broke. Even though you have more money than everyone else, but you just don't have what is being told to people that's like, oh, if you don't have this, you're not living the life. You don't got the bad, the bad joint, you're not living the life. You don't got the flyest car, you're not living the life. You don't got, all the jewelry, you're not living the life. You don't got the biggest crib. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, everyone's key to happiness is different, you know? But one person makes them happy, won't make the next person happy. But unfortunately, it's been constructed in the ways like, oh, you don't got this, oh, you must be broke, or something wrong with you, you don't got this. But you really have the funds to have it, but you just don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Because you know what's the real deal with like living on this planet. You're more focused on like what's real. And to some people, that's not what's real. But to others, you have all those, that means you really are the man, you have all the money. But you can have all the money and not have none of that. You don't necessarily need none of that to know. Some people feel like you gotta prove to them that you have money, knowing damn well you might have more money than a whole bunch of people. You just don't live, you don't abide by the way they tell you how it should be. And I think that also plays a role. Like, I think that also plays too. Because if you look at all the rappers now, it's jewelry this, jewelry that. Everyone got multiple chains on, the watches, this and that. But again, I guess that also goes with the role of being a rapper. It's just like you gotta be. What I'm trying to say is just you gotta show and it appeals to the fans like, oh no, this rapper's really getting money. Look at all these chains he got. Look at the watches, look at the cars, the crib, all the stuff that he's doing. It's like, look at all that. And it's stuff people physically see. So they see it, they believe it. And not realizing a lot of that shit is just a mirage. And it's just like, it's not what it seems. But again, this is the world we live in. People don't really look deeper into the stuff that they look at. It's just like, oh, they look, and what they see is what they believe. This is how it is. Unfortunately, this is how it is.
Academics can go kiss an ass. I can't stand him. At the end of the day, I can't.
But we're going to keep the music. Now we're going to transition. The Baby dropped an album, but they dropped the album, but what got people, like what caused a stir was the snippet, which is out now, but I think the Baby song called Boogeyman, I think it's track 3 on the album, I believe, but it's certain lyrics that he said that caused people, but basically, he announced to the world he was doing certain things with another female rapper. And for those who don't know who I'm talking about, we're talking about Meg Stallion. And he's talked about it on the track, about their interaction. And
But wasn't they supposed to be making up? Like, he's fucking up because they were supposed to be making up.
Possibly, but in the midst of what the breakdown between her and him, Meg Stallion does have a boyfriend. He got into it with the baby, and maybe that caused the friction. Maybe there was no makeup, but they went back and forth, and then maybe it'd be different. So I don't know, but that's that. I'm like, from what I last seen in that situation, I just know him and the baby went back and forth on Twitter, I believe. They went back and forth on Twitter. They had a little exchange, and now that was like a few months back. Now, fast forward, baby drops a project, and lets that be known on the song. You think he what was
Maybe just
foul or nah? You think it was foul or nah? Here we go. Foul or nah? So you think the lyrics is foul, or is just it is what it is?
if it's his truth, it's his truth. I can't. I hate when people like, oh, that's foul. That's if that's your truth. Like I said with Irv Gotti when he was talking about Ashanti. If that's your fucking truth, then say your fucking truth. Who are we to say you can't say your truth? My problem comes in when he's just a messy motherfucker. Like he's another academic. He's just messy as fuck. I hate messy men. Like that shit is just ugh. Like you're a messy man. Like you're messy as fuck. If you didn't say this shit prior when y'all was having beef, I don't want to hear about it now. Like at this point, sit the fuck down. It doesn't even matter. But if you need to say your truth to feel better about yourself, say your fucking truth. Say the fucking truth. And when you add it, say that Danny Lay was your girlfriend too. Because at this point, like he's just messy. So no, do I think it's foul? No. I think people are allowed to speak their truth, right? If something happened to me and that was my life story, okay, that's my life story. I'm allowed to speak it. But I just feel like he's messy as fuck. He's just so messy. It's just like getting to the point where he's like a bitch because he's so messy. I hate it.
Obviously, I've heard worse, and even the worst I've heard. I don't condone some of the stuff I heard, but he said what he said. Like I'm. Again, it isn't what it is. What it is. I feel like the situation would have been much different if they didn't have their situation that happened and it came out the blue. I think it would have looked more like, oh, what are you doing? Like, oh, he got a project coming out, so that's why I did it. I think it would have looked so much different if he would have just said it and there was like no type of history or anything in the background of what, like the fact that he said what he said. I feel like, but we know if something happened, so it stems from something, it comes from something. There was like he got into it with her and he got into it with her boyfriend. And this is like the first like project he dropped since they got into it. So it's like they got into it, okay. They spoke it out. They went back and forth on social media. A few months passed. He recorded the project, dropped the project. He addressed it on the project, which is nothing wrong with that. He has every right to it. At the end of the day, he's a rapper. But I felt like it would have been much different if that back and forth didn't happen. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like if he didn't go back and forth with her or her boyfriend, and he would just came out the blue and just said what he said, it'd be like, hold on, what? It came off a little more corny. I'm not saying what he said was corny, but I'm saying it would have came off a little more corny if there was like no type of like background, no history in it. It's just like, all right, we know what you're doing this for. You're doing this to get people to listen to your album, whatnot. But this is the first project he's dropped since, so it makes sense. It is what it is. They gave him ammo. Like, I'm not saying he's lying on her or whatnot, but they gave him enough ammo to the thing. At the end of the day, he's a rapper. So you said he's gonna tell his truth. But what I'm saying is, truth or not, at the end of the day, he's a rapper, and they gave him ammo to put on the song, and that's what he did. They went back and forth, let it be social media wise, but he went into that studio and he rapped what he rapped, and and now here we are.
It was rap. Anyway.
You know what I'm saying? It's hip hop, so I don't have it. I don't think it was foul. I think it's one of those. You just suck it up. It is what it is.
He's messy.
It's just one of those. It is what it is. I don't. I don't see. I don't think
He's
she.
messy.
No, say it is, but I don't think Meg has. I didn't see nothing where it says she responded to the record or not. But
Is she not gonna respond to that messy motherfucker?
she will. Give her some time. I think she will. But obviously, I don't expect her to drop her. I don't expect her to drop a diss record or a song coming at him. But I think she'll address it when she feels the time is right. But yeah, it is what it is. It's hip hop, you know. From majority of stuff I heard, that was something light. You know what I'm trying to say? Something light. But now we're gonna keep it again. We're gonna keep it music. We're gonna transition. Obviously, some big shoes to fill because last year's Super Bowl performance was one of the greatest Super Bowl performances of all time. Definitely one of the greats. So now we have a new person. But before we get to who's gonna be the headliner for this year's Super Bowl, before the person that was selected, there was an offer to get Taylor Swift to do the Super Bowl this year, but she turned down the Super Bowl. She ended up turning it down, and which led into the next person who was selected. And for those who don't know, Super Bowl, Rihanna has been selected to headline next year's Super Bowl performance at next year's halftime show. What you thought about the idea, and do you think Rihanna should have been the first option, or like
Before Taylor Swift, I just feel like Rihanna, if they huh?
No, I was asking, what do you feel about her headlining it? And I was asking, basically, do you think she should have been the first option, or they did their due diligence?
I think Rihanna should be the first option for a lot of things. I actually like that Rihanna is doing the Super Bowl. I love it. I think if like Beyonce and Rihanna, if they perform at the Super Bowl, they need more than the time that Super Bowl gives these artists because of their song selection. How do you choose what do you play for that type of? You get what I'm saying? Like Rihanna now, I feel like there's certain songs I want to hear her perform at the Super Bowl.
So what?
Let me say that again. There's certain songs.
No, say the last part. Oh, certain songs that you want to hear she perform at the Super Bowl.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. And Devin keeps saying, "Oh, they're not gonna let her do that. It's gonna be like 20-second and like."
But she's by herself. The last year's Super Bowl, they got overall it was 12. I think it was like 10 to 12 minutes. It was it was like 10 or 12 minutes. So that's probably the time she's gonna get. Like she's gonna get at least 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes.
She should get like an hour.
It's not about the show. It's at the end of the day, it's a football game that gotta be played. So it's
the football game. 95% of the people who turn to the Super Bowl is turning for the halftime show and the commercials. That's in statistics.
Listen, it's about the football game, so she's gonna get.
Who the fuck told you it was about the football game?
It is. There's no football game.
Who the fuck told you?
It is.
Who the fuck told you, Johnny? It's not about no fucking football game.
It is.
It's not about. They don't fucking talk about the game.
Of course it does. That's the most talked about thing. It's the most viewed thing.
Because of the halftime show, not because of the fucking game.
No,
what is wrong with you?
The game is slow.
It has nothing to do with the fucking game. Nobody fucking tunes into Super Bowl Sunday for the fucking game. Who told you that?
I don't know. Ask your husband and ask him what he's
gonna say it's for the halftime show. Nobody tunes in for the fucking Super Bowl game. They tune in for the fucking halftime show to see who's performing, what they performing, and how that shit goes. Nobody.
That's a part of that.
Who the fuck lied to you?
Act
Who
one.
Who the fuck lied to you?
Act one. Super Bowl. Act 1 Super Bowl.
Halftime.
Oh, you might get mad at me. Look. Act 1 Super Bowl. Act 2 Super Bowl commercials. And then Act 3 Super Bowl performance.
That's a bullshit lie. I don't know who the fuck told you that shit. Nah.
Well, halftime show and the commercial is debatable, but I'm pretty sure a lot. But you might hear a lot of people do watch Super Bowl for those Super Bowl commercials. Super Bowl commercials. Again, all that branches. If there's no Super Bowl game, there's no Super Bowl commercials, there's no Super Bowl halftime show. So either way, it's Super Bowl. It's about the game. So Rihanna's probably gonna get like 10 to 12 minutes. But if she's doing the performance by herself, she might get a little more time. See, last year's had like 50, Dre, Snoop, Mary J, Kendrick, had 6 artists. So yeah, Rihanna might get a little more time. She might get a couple more minutes, like shade over 10. I don't think she'll get. I'm gonna say she's gonna get 10 to 14 minutes, somewhere in that range. If she's performing by herself, I say 10 to 14. Actually, while we're talking, I'm gonna Google the average amount of time you get in a Super Bowl performance because it's not a lot. Average time for a Super Bowl performance. Okay. The show usually lasts between 12 to 14 minutes. That's on average. So you may be lucky. You might get 15 minutes out of her.
Oh my God.
See, it says Super Bowl halftime can last anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. And the Super Bowl halftime show usually lasts between 12 and 14 minutes. So you can get her for 15 minutes, which is dope enough.
Okay.
Possibly. I'm not saying she don't get 15 minutes, but you could possibly get her. 14, it says the range is 12 to 14, 14 being the most. Get an extra minute, 15. So yeah, she's gonna do, I said 10 to 14, which I was a little close. So yeah, she's gonna do that's a good amount of time. With a good DJ, she can perform like a good 6 songs. Good 6. Actually, if she does a minute a song, she can get a good 10 out. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm just saying she rehearses and really commits to doing like a minute per song. She can do like 10 songs. But obviously there's certain songs that people want to hear more of. So she's probably gonna perform I would say a good 3 to 5 tracks. I think she'll perform 3 to 5 songs. Just trying to do with the time constraints, I'd say she'll perform like 3 to 5. I think it's gonna be a dope show. I think they made the right choice. I think Rihanna performed.
Listen, I'm excited to see what she does. I think she should bring Jay-Z on. I think she should bring Drake on, even though Drake is beefing. Let's make this a fucking concert. Fuck the game. That's how I feel about it. But hey, that's just me. I can give a fuck about the game. Most women who sit down and watch it don't watch it for the game.
Well, that's how you feel. You don't watch it for the game, but Drake possibly. I could definitely see her bringing Jay-Z out.
Drake is not a possibility. They don't fuck with each other. Well, she don't fuck with Drake.
But that's why it's a possibility. We from now till February, we don't know what's gonna be talked behind the scenes.
Yeah, October, November, December, January, 4 months.
That's more than enough time. Get business people on the phone with each other.
Okay, Johnny.
I'm not saying I said it's a possibility.
Johnny, you are the same person who think people watch the football game, Super Bowl for the football. So I mean, I can't trust anything you say.
Oh my God! People watch the football game because of the football game.
Okay.
Oh man, we're just gonna agree to disagree. And
like we always do.
And Dev, when you get to this part of the episode, I need you to create a poll. We need a poll, and we need to see what do a poll and set it up on Coach Capsule. We need to put up what people watch Super Bowl halftime. What is most people main reasons why people watch Super Bowl Sunday? Is it A, the football game, B, the halftime show, or C, the commercial, or D, something else? Because I think those are the main three, but who knows? The people nowadays, somebody might say they watch something else. So make it a 4-letter thing, and let's see what gets the most votes. But with that being said, we're gonna keep it music, keep it performance wise. Rolling Loud took place this past weekend. But before rappers was able to take the stage, the NYPD contacted Rolling Loud and said certain drill rappers couldn't perform. Certain drill rappers was banned from performing at Rolling Loud, so they wasn't able to go perform. But I seen a few performances in Rolling Loud. There's some good sets. Like there was some good performances. But overall, do you think NYPD was out of bounds, telling them not to let certain artists perform, or it is what it is?
I thought Rolling Loud was because of the drill music. No,
No,
I thought Rolling Loud was built off of drill music.
no, it wasn't. It started off in Florida. The first Rolling Loud concert started off in Florida.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never paid attention to the Rolling Loud like concert in the lineup, so I don't even really know what their lineup. And I looked at their lineup before, and it seems like their lineup has always been all over the place. Like it's just not one category. Like their lineup has always been just a bunch of rappers, a bunch of singers. It's like all over the place. It's like all over the place. Like Rolling Loud, you don't have a particular like
You
kind
get a whole
of
bunch of artists, and then you get like the 3 headliners because it's a 3-day show. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Rolling Loud to me is confusing. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't say no drill because in New York that's all we listen to now. Well, not me, but the young generation.
No, yeah.
That's all they listen.
No, but you're right though. That is the genre of choice currently right now in New York is drill music.
Right.
Genre of choice.
I was a bit confused on why they were taking it out of New York because drill music is New York. I for right now it is. So I was a bit confused because I did go on their website to see like their past lineup, and it was all over the place. Like I don't understand it. So I really can't speak about their lineup. Maybe you know more, but I don't.
No, they get their 3 headliners.
I just don't understand why New York would take out drill music.
Yeah,
It just didn't make sense.
It was 2 different stages. It was I forgot what they called. I think one stage was called the Duce stage, and I forgot what the other stage was called this year. But usually that's how they do. They have more than one stage, and it's like you got the main headliner, and then it's like so you got the headliner, and then you got like the closest thing to the headliner, and they'll be headlining the other stage. So they're not the headliner, but they're like literally right under. They'll headline the other stage, and it's like the high tier artists that get there, and then there's like all the artists in between that'll get like short minutes, like short 10 to 20 minute sets. Then you got the couple artists that'll get the 30, 25, 30, and then you get the headliner. So basically, but yeah, it was 2 stages. I forgot what the other stage was called. Nicki was one of the headliners. Her performance was...
I saw that, but that's why I'm saying to you, it was confusing on where, like, what line. I personally didn't. I don't understand it, but again, they in New York. I didn't understand why we took drill away from like that shit goes hand in hand. So I was a bit confused.
Currently, yeah, because again, that's the genre of choice right now in New York.
Right. So I was a bit confused, but I am on the side of making concerts more of in a safe environment. I don't know if you saw that ASAP
Oh yeah,
Rocky.
yeah.
Listen, let's just take Mash Pits out the fucking concerts. You niggas think this is funny, but it's not funny. He said one girl was holding on to his nuts.
Yeah, that's why he said. That's why he made that face. He said it wasn't because he was crowded. He said someone was grabbing onto his nuts, and he was just like in pain.
You put yourself in that kind of predicament when you go into the crowds like that.
You know what's crazy? Another artist had before ASAP had that that viral meme that went out. Another artist jumped into a mosh pit and started getting a little out of hand. And his set ended abruptly, so people were speculating like what the fuck happened. But Playboy Cardi, like towards like the end of his set, I don't know if it was a planned ending or whatnot, but he jumped into the crowd and they started mosh pitting, and it's like you hear like he's yelling for them to clear a path, I guess, for him to get out. And then after that, that's the last you hear from him, and then the set just goes. Obviously, it makes the job harder for security because they got to go through a whole bunch of motherfuckers to get the artists in and out of the situation. But it's definitely a dangerous thing and something you don't get caught in the middle of.
Yeah, I think as people, we just need to make concerts a little bit more safe.
But again, I feel like certain artists, not all, certain artists have that, just create that certain environment when they're performances. I don't think people's mosh pitting for Nicki Minaj while she performs. You know what I'm trying to say? I just feel like certain artists, that's just part of their whole thing. It's like when they perform, that's their aura. Like nobody's mosh pitting during Nicki's performances, and I can name a few artists that people not mosh pitting while they performing. But you know, it is what it is, and it's something that's dangerous, but something people continue to do.
Right. I get it.
But we're gonna keep it moving now. We're gonna transition to Charlamagne's statements, and he listed his 4 most influential rappers. He said Pac, Jay-Z, Ye, Lil Wayne. He said those were his 4 most influential rappers. And he went about global impact and like rappers that came after them because of them. So he went overall impact. You see in his list, do you agree with his list? Think somebody was missing from his list? And if you think someone's missing from his list, save it, because that's going to be our closing segment for today. We're going to be doing our Fab 4 most influential rappers.
So let's just do the Fab 4, because I don't agree. I agree with Jay on his list. I agree. I was getting jokes for this. I agree with Ye. Lil Wayne, I don't agree with.
He's one of the more influential rappers.
You about to hate what I'm about to say.
So since you're gonna start off this segment, you're gonna start off Fab 4.
Because what I'm about to say, you about to be like, I'm fucking crazy.
But don't say your list. Say your list. Listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
No, listen. You asked me about his list first. Let me do his list first, and then I'll do my list. Okay.
All right. So yes.
Jay and Ye, I agree with. Wayne, I don't think his music was influential. I think the style of his music was influential. So I'm okay with that. But Tupac, unfortunately, Tupac didn't have enough time on this. And let me.
I didn't say nothing.
You confident choking over there.
I said that.
Unfortunately, Tupac, and I think if Tupac would have been on this earth longer, he would have been the most. Him and Notorious would have been the most influential rappers of our generation. I think hands down, we wouldn't have been able to argue it. We wouldn't have been able to discuss it, because it would have been, that's what it would have been. In the short amount of time that he had, he did leave some marks on the world. Don't get me wrong, Johnny. He did. Tupac is still one of the most, I think, best rappers, but influential? I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. It's an opinion. No, I actually. That's your opinion. It's your opinion.
Your eyes are good.
That's your opinion on his list. I think his list was good. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like I think overall his list was good because you can make a case for each person on his list of what their impact was to the culture. You may not agree with the order, but everyone on the list, Weezy definitely influenced a lot of rappers style wise. Try to follow him. You may not think he's top 4, but he is one of the more influential rappers ever. He's one of. That's everything. Obviously, Jay and Ye.
Right.
It's pretty much their career is his thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they're Kanye with the whole fashion and the whole taking. And then look at all the rappers that's doing like stepping out, doing like the fashion stuff and all the type of stuff like the artistry. Kanye brought a different artistry to the hip hop culture. Hov being Hov, the whole Rockefeller movement. He's one of the more influential. And obviously, Pop is my all-time favorite artist. I think he's the most influential because style-wise, you said he wasn't around one, but the style that he generated is still mimicked and altered into different ways. It still could be traced back to him, and people branched off of what he did. But with that being said, we're going to get into our Fab 4. Bree, who's your Fab 4 most influential artist?
I'm gonna keep Jay and Ye.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna add.
So Jay's number 4.
Ye's number 4.
Ye's number 4.
Snoop Dogg is number 3.
Snoop number 3. Snoop is very influential.
I think people forget about Snoop, but his style is still mimicked to this day.
Snoop is very influential. He's a little laid back. He's been around so long. I feel like people forget like you see him on everything. You see him in commercials. You see him in ads.
But he
so much.
He contributes to right. You may not agree with this, but I think Busta was one of the most influential rappers.
So you putting Busta at 2?
I'm putting Busta at 2. I'm sorry, and you may not like that, but I think a lot of people mimic Busta to this day.
He's definitely had an influence in the game. Definitely had an influence in the game of hip hop.
And Jay is number 1. I feel like. Let me say this. I think Nas is number 5 because we can't forget that, and I think Missy Elliott is number 6, and then but Jay is number 1.
Definitely
right.
I think Nas is one of the more influential artists ever as well when it comes to hip hop. He's definitely one of them. He didn't make my 4, but he was a close. He was definitely close.
Right. He was definitely number 5 for me, but number 1 would have to be Jay.
Okay.
Listen, if we're talking about influential, we're not talking about record sales.
I'm saying who's better. Right. You're talking about
we're talking about influence, right? Snoop. I hate that people don't mention Snoop because Snoop is one of the he. I feel like personally, he's part of that era that made LA what LA is. He made Compton what it is, and so we don't ever. Like people try not to give him flowers, and that shit is bullshit. Like let's cut the shit and let's be honest. Like
Snoop is very dope, but Snoop is definitely one of the more influential commodities that came with hip hop. Obviously, he was a rapper first, and he's at this point in his life, he still raps, but he's bigger. He's one of those that's just bigger than the rap title. Snoop is I'm trying to say Snoop is a whole bunch of things. You see him on commercials, TV, movies. You see Snoop everywhere. You know what I'm trying to say? So I was Snoop, but he's definitely one of the more influential people of the hip hop culture. Yes, I do agree with you on that.
And Busta, I feel like, but the reason why I said Busta, because I feel like he was one of those artists who stepped out the box with his videos, stepped out the box with his music, and after that, everybody then wanted to do characters and do this and do that, and so he started that era of
probably one of the first to do what he was doing. Yeah.
So and people still to this day try to mimic that. So shout out to Busta, man. Like
Nah,
Give that
Bus
man
is
his
dope.
flowers.
Bus is dope. Definitely dope. Um, like like you,
But
I, like you. I did a subtraction of Charlemagne's list, but for the most part, me and Charlemagne's list was almost similar. Almost similar, but at four, I put NWA at four.
the whole NWA.
Yeah, I put NWA at four because it's a group. You know what I'm saying? I put them at four because realistically, this you could say they could be higher on the list because obviously what came from NWA, Ice Cube, Dre, and then Dre, Snoop, and 50. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like what that style of music. You know what I'm trying to say? It was like the forefronts of it. Obviously, it's different branches off. But NWA is definitely a key pillar into what music is today. Like it's really off brand. It's just more, I would say, more graphic or you know of what they did 30 years ago. That's like I'm talking about rapping where it's at now. It's like just styles is different, but it's a branch of what they did. They could be easily higher on this list. At three and two is a little tough because it's very difficult to order wise. But at three, I put Hove at three. Put Hove at three. But
Okay.
I put Hove at three. But it's against difficult, so I'm just going to 3 and 2. At number 2, I put Ye at number 2.
If you put Pac at number 1.
Pac is definitely number 1, but before I get to that.
Oh my God.
We're gonna get to that, but with 2 and 3, obviously, Ye is a branch off of Hove. You know what I'm trying to say? Because the Rockefeller movement was like Hove.
So how can you put? Then how can you put Jay at number 3 and Hove at number 2?
No, that's what I'm trying to explain. So this one was a little more difficult because for the most part, obviously, when you speak of these two, you always put Hove first because Ye was the what's the word for it? He was a branch of Hove. I just think what Ye was able to do and create, I think in the influence, I think he slightly surpassed Hove with the whole Yeezy brand, the whole artistry, him being a rapper producer, and also look, Kanye is a perfect example, right? Oh, that's why I put NWA in my list. Dr. Dre, rapper, producer. Yeah, rapper, producer, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I think Ye has did enough. And, people say at the end of the day, Ye did so much, but at the end of the day, people say like, oh, but Hove is what helped put him in position. And that's why I can't say he's past Hove. And that's why Hove is at a high number, which I won't argue, but I think Ye has did enough. You know what I'm trying to say? Obviously, he comes under that branch. So I think he's done enough to where you could be like, damn, Ye is very, very influential. Just look at where Ye is at now. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, where Ye is at now. He's like, whatever he says, right or wrong, it's going to have the whole world talking about it. It's going to stir a pot, right or wrong. So I think in the influence department, I think he slightly surpassed Hove. That's just my opinion. And then obviously at number 1, Tupac is the most influential artist ever. It's not even a debate. The style, everything is a branch of what he did. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he was the one that obviously, like, if you look at it, just the stuff he talked about, he's clearly number 1. He's clearly number 1. It's no debate. Pac's the most influential rapper ever. You're laughing, but it's legit the truth. We're not talking about GOAT status. We're not talking about who's better.
We're not talking. My list ain't GOAT status.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm making it clear because obviously everyone's gonna have different opinions. You said your opinion.
I don't don't think this has anything to do with GOAT status. I think
no.
the problem here is being a fan of someone is different than the knowing that the influential things they've done. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away what Tupac did in the amount of years that he did them. I'm not taking that away from him. If anything, I love Tupac. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, Johnny. The amount of shit he's accomplished in the years that he lived, 100% is probably one of the, I'll say, number one or two things ever. But his influential rap, because it changed in between his artistry from when he started to when he passed, may he rest in peace, was so different. I just don't see it being influential in that amount of time. Again, if we would have had more time with Tupac, then yes, I think personally there wouldn't have been any question about or even a discussion about him being the best influential rapper of all time. This wouldn't have been in a discussion. But because he started off with the Black empowerment, and then he turned into like this rap of, kind of hatred and stuff. I think that it just wasn't enough amount of time for us to say he was an influential rapper. Like, does that make sense to you? No.
I see what you're saying, but I disagree.
Okay, I just want to make it clear that I love Tupac, and it's not nothing against Tupac's industry altogether. I think it's so sad that he was taken away from us in that amount of time, because I think Tupac could have created a dynasty if he would have lived longer. So would have Notorious B.I.G. So don't get me twisted. Again, these people. Again,
it's your no.
I just don't think he was an influence. Okay.
No, I hear everything you're saying. You're basically saying because he wasn't here long enough that his impact wasn't as big as it could have been. But what I'm saying is, in that short amount of years that he was here, his impact he still reached heights of his impact that only a select few artists could say they reached the heights of impact that he reached in that short amount of time. Pac is known across the globe. You probably go to a country, right? Randomly go to a country, walk down the block, and you see a whole.
Does that make him GOAT status, or does that make you said influential? Does that make him GOAT status? Does that make him GOAT status, or does that make him an influential rapper? John, that's where you're getting. That's why I think you're getting confused.
No, I'm not.
That's why I think you're getting confused, because does it make him a GOAT rapper? Like he's the GOAT. Or does that make him influential? Because if you know him around the globe, that makes you a GOAT. That doesn't make you influential.
Yes, it does. You can't be one of the more. Listen, you can't be one of the more influential people if you're not known around the world. If people in 5 states know who you are, you can't say you have influence. You have influence in that 5 states. You know what I'm trying to say? But if you are known in different countries amongst the whole world, that's influence, because people know who you are. And a lot of people, what I'm saying is the person that Pop was. Obviously most people know him for his music, I would say, but it's the person that he was from the jump, literally. The whole guy that he was, the whole the revolutionary mixed in with the music, the interviews, trying to say the stuff that he dropped, the gems that he dropped, the stuff that he talked about. That's where the influence is, because he was the voice. Because look, quick thing, a lot of stuff that he talked about in his music and he rapped about in his music is still relevant to what we're going through in today's times. So it's like, I'm not even talking about GOAT status. It's like you can play a Pac song and listen to something in the lyrics. They're like, yo, what the fuck? That shit crazy how he rapped about that 30 years ago. But shit still takes place. You know what I'm trying to say? The stuff that he dressed and rapped about is what created the love that and admiration and the influence. The style that he had the gangster style, but he also spoke. He had the what they call these rappers? What do they call the positive rappers? What's the word? You said what?
By J. Cole? I don't know.
It's common something. It's like conscious. I said common, conscious. So he had the perfect blend of gangster rap with conscious rap. You know what I'm trying to say? So he had that all mixed in together, which is a blend and style that other artists that follow in his footsteps take place. You know what I'm trying to say? But to me, he is the most influential rapper. It's the stuff that he talked about. It's the stuff that he talked about. It's still relevant to this day. He addressed certain shit where other rappers didn't address that now certain rappers are addressing more. But he was really one of the main ones that I'm talking about rap superstars that address certain shit. You know what I'm trying to say? Certain raps like rappers or rap stars, man, but I'm talking about at a high tier, him being a rap superstar, because that's what he was. He addressed certain shit, still relevant to this day. So to me, he is the most influential. His style has been mimicked amongst all rappers. A lot of it is a branch off of what Pop did. So again, to me, he's the most influential rapper. I think when it comes to influence, there's no debate. But when it comes to GOAT status, it's more debatable because obviously you can make different type of arguments. But when it comes to influence, I think there's no debate. He's the clear number one. That's my opinion on that. We agreed to disagree. You had your list. I had my list. Charlamagne had his list. With that being said, that's a wrap on the brand new episode of Untitled Podcast. Your boy John, my co-host Bree, and we are out.